In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Lofted Flange tool, which is available in sheet metal inside of Fusion 360. First of all, we're going to take a look at using this with a closed contour. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two closed contours on two separate planes first. So I'm just going to create a square using a center rectangle, and I'm just going to make this 200 by 200. What I'm then going to do is create an offset plane from the XY plane. I'm just going to position this 300mm above. And what I'm now going to do is create another sketch on that plane that I've created the offset on, and I'm just going to put a circle in at 150. So we can see now that we've got two sketches. So what I can do is I can go to the sheet metal tool and create a new component of that sheet metal, and in here we can choose our material size that we want to use. So I'm just going to go with the stainless steel 2mm in this instance and click OK. So now that I'm in the sheet metal tool, what I can now go and do is that I can go to the Flange tool here, and we can see that we've got a Lofted Flange option. So what I can do is I can click on the bottom sketch first, the square, and then the second sketch, the circle, and we can see that we get a preview. Now we have some options available in here as to how this is created. So we can do this as either a break form, so in other words use a press break to create the form required. And the other option we have here for forming type is die form. So if we're working with a stamping die to create it, you can see we get a different result. So the type we're going to look for here is break form. Now it's also worth pointing out in here as well that we have different options available. So we can have chord tolerance where we can give it a size. Okay. We can also do a facet angle where we can change the angle size, and you can see it will put more facets in as required. We've also got facet distance as well, so again if we drop that number down, you can see that it will put more facets in, and we've also got a facet number as well. And you can see it can make quite a bit of difference as we go. Now what I'm going to do here is just go for chord tolerance, and the other thing that we need to pay attention to here is to the orientation. Now this is quite an interesting one, because if we have this set up the wrong way, what will happen is the sizes won't come out as you expect. So at the moment you can see with side one, if you zoom in, you can see that you're working to the outside of your geometry that you've created for the two sketches. So what you want to be doing here is go to side 2, which will actually bring it inside of those sketches that we've created. The other option that is available as well is center. So what that will do is that will put half the material on one side of the line and half the material on the other side of the line, as we can see. But in this instance we're just going to go side 2. Now the one other thing that we've got to do here, if we try creating a flat pattern at the moment by clicking on a face, you will notice that we get an error. Okay, and the reason we get an error is because the software doesn't know how to create the flat pattern. So what we have to do here, if I go to construction and just turn on that plane that we created, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw a sketch on plane 1. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to zoom in, and all we're going to do is I'm just going to go over a rectangle, and I'm just going to go over a 3-point rectangle, center, like this. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're going to give it a width. We're not going to make it too wide, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag that to the center, by a green line, which represents Y. And then what I'm also going to do is I've got to make sure that this rectangle has enough height so that we can actually go through the whole part. So if we have a look here, okay, we can see that that sketch is going right the way through. So that will cut through. So if I go finish sketch now, what I can then go and do is create an extrude. And what we're up to here is that we want to drag it down so it cuts right the way through. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. Just going to make sure that's going down enough so it cuts through the part. What you'll now notice is that we've now got a line. If we go and zoom in, we can see that that's cutting all the way through. Now, what we have to do next is then go in and do a flat pattern again, but this time click on that face, and this time round it's now going to create us our flat pattern, which looks a little like this. Okay, so at this stage what we're able to do is that we can now export this shape out if we want to as a DXF, and we've got the option as well of converting splines into polylines as well, and we can just save this locally onto our PC. Okay, so in this video we've had a look at creating a lofted flange with a close profile using the Flange tool in Fusion 360. I hope you found this video useful, and if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us.